All right, we're back. All right, so you're lost in life. You don't know where you want to go. You're experiencing some sort of anxiety. You're stressed about something. You know, don't know how to change your life to be where you want to be. You wake up feeling confused. You wake up feeling like you're not really feeling purposeful in life. You're in the right place. I'm going to help you. And we're going to turn you from point A to point B. I'm going to take you through the journey because you're already stuck. You're watching this for a reason and you understand. You're a guy, you're in your 20s, you're trying to get things started. You're a guy, you're in your 30s. You may have had things going, but you can't quite figure out what it is you're missing. You're in your 40s. Maybe you just went through a divorce, something like that, and you need to get back on your feet. That's what we're here to help. Here, I'm teaching quite a few different things. One of the most important things are the 7 steps. The 7 steps to forging a life that you deserve. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stabilize. Step 2, secure work. Step 3, control your money. Step 4, forge a brotherhood. Step 5, build skills. Step 6, strengthen your mind. And step 7, create your vision. The reason we do these steps is because this takes us to where we put out fires. It takes us to where we can start moving forward in life. It takes us to where we can start to actually see progress. Because the most important thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to start tracking things. You're going to have to start seeing when you did things, when you did not do things, how you did things, how you performed. Because what gets measured can be improved. Welcome back. This is the Wealth Forge. And we're going to go over some things that people are asking in the Reddit forums. We're going to go over some things that real people are really struggling with, including people like you watching this, and we're going to help you. So the first thing I want to start off with, we have a Reddit post here from user Efficient Reply 1884. It says, I got a question for all the folks out there who are living happily. To preface, I'm 24. I'm living what I grew up considering to be the ideal version of life. I have a home of my own, a steady full-time job in the field I got my college degree in, a cat, and the like. I'm deeply unhappy. I've been desperate. I've been depressed and anxious ever since I was a child. And those feelings have evolved into deeper rooted apathy that I can't shake at all anymore. There's a lot of reasons why: family, estrangement. I've grown up to loathe the state I live and grew up in. And there's a general sense of I can't do things unless I have permission to do it. I'm going to click on the post, see how much more we got to read here. To do so, I'm just stuck and I want to be unstuck. I want to do that by making big changes. I want to move out of state. I want to be out of my crazy family's hands for good. I want to take a job in a place I actually like. I want to be happy and feel like I can't do it unless I give myself a huge jolt to the nervous system and get out of the apathetic state. Like, I'm feeling like I have to scare myself, if that makes sense. I've been trying for years to do it, and there's too many factors keeping me down. So my question is, has anyone in this subreddit done something like that, making big life changes even though you're apparently living the dream in a way we're told was ideal? And if you did it work the way you hoped it would? That is a loaded question. I can tell you this. That's a loaded question, and it's a loaded question for a lot of reasons. The first thing is, what is it that's really going on? Because if you talk about family, right? Because I have family, and I moved away from home a long time ago. I moved to different countries. I've lived in different states, different countries around the world. And I can tell you that moving away from home, away from family is a beautiful thing because it opens up your eyes to, the rest of the world. It opens up your eyes to see different things and experience different things. And if I was to tell a guy like this, right, if I came over here, I'd say this is somebody that needs to start with step one. Number one, you got to stabilize yourself, because I don't know what your income is. It's good that you secured work, so you've kind of skipped ahead, but you still sound like you have chaos in your life. And when I say chaos, I mean the family struggles. I mean the anxiety that you have. Like, you're not stable. Something in your world is causing you to experience this anxiety, which anxiety by itself is nothing but just alarms going off in your head. It's alarms going off saying that, hey, something is not right here and something needs to change. And that could be your environment. So is your home clean? Is your car clean? Are you in shape? You got to do that stuff. Get up and go for a walk, especially when you start feeling anxious. You start feeling stuck, trapped, like you're paralyzed. These are all the things that you would be wise to start doing. Step two, we secure work. It sounds like you have a good job, good career field. I don't know how much you make, but I'm sure you can always make more. Control the money. So with a guy like this, that's in a good position, which he's in a good position financially, you should be allocating that money towards therapy. That should be part of your budget. You have great places like BetterHelp. That's one I can recommend. You can do stuff in your local area. I don't know what do you do for a living, but if you have a company that might sponsor, healthcare, that could be something you could put towards it. And it'll be totally worth it, in my opinion. I think that's something that you can 100% do. What you need to do is you got to get that part of your budget. Dealing with your anxiety and confronting that is a big step into your healing. It's a big step into your progression into your life and how you're going to do that. 4, brotherhood. So I know you said stuff about as a child. There's stuff like from your childhood that's haunting you as an adult. We all have it. I have stuff like myself, my personal past. Like, I had some issues with my parents growing up. My mother specifically, we had a lot of issues. And some of the things, they followed me into adulthood. They did. And they affect me to this day. For example, you're going to think I'm crazy, or you're going to think it's a little weird to you, but I have a sensory thing with smacking. I don't like people that chew with their mouth open or have to stuff like that. It drives me bonkers. I'm telling you, like, the sign of it. But all of this stuff started in my childhood. And so as an adult, I've had to learn how to cope with it. I've done therapy, and I've had to learn how to communicate with other people so that I can move forward in life and not let my past experiences scar me and keep me from doing the things I actually want to do. But I'd say that building a brotherhood, I ask a guy like this, I read something like this, and I think to myself, just from reading this, you didn't mention anything about having strong people around you to help navigate through this. And you being in this forum asking this question tells me that, because having good men around you that are going to help you through tough times like this or get through those times is exactly what you would need. You need a brotherhood. You got to find people that are where you want to be, or men that you look up to, and reach out to them. Like, to be honest, I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you want to reach out to me, we can talk, have a conversation, and I can walk you through this, because I've been through this before. I've moved away. I've had, family issues or whatever stuff that, that I wanted to get away from, that I wanted to live my own life. Then we need to strengthen your mind. There's that therapy thing I'm talking about again. That therapy thing is important, man. Because, getting in therapy, that's going to allow you to open yourself up to understanding why you're feeling this way. Because the way I see it, you don't know where your anxiety is coming from. And I think it's because you have a lot of chaos in your life. You have a cat. I didn't see you mention anything about having a family. So I imagine you're alone. And it makes me wonder, how's your dating life? Are you dating? Are you socially awkward? These are factors in keeping you that way. Because maybe if you had, if you had a nice, lovely lady that you were dating, talking to consistently in person, that could change your, feeling of how life feels. Because you don't necessarily live for your family that, like your extended family, you live for the family that you're going to eventually create. And then when you got to create a vision, I did not hear you talk about any real goals except for wanting to get away from everything that's going on around you. 100% your environment's affecting you. So we do have to get away. How do you overcome that anxiety? Well, it's simple. You make a plan. You make a real plan, and then you do it. That's right. You start looking for the new area you want to live in. Look for jobs in a new area. And then once you start looking at new jobs in the area, if it's a place you can move to, secure work. That's the first thing you do. Look for the jobs in that area. Find the area, secure a job, and then start, backwards planning. Let's say, hey, I know I can get a job over here. I've reached out. They're busy. I got a good resume. They need people. I applied. They called me. We interviewed, and they asked me how soon. And I said, well, 60 days, 90 days, whatever the case may be. But you got to start looking. You got to do the effort. You got to move to where it is you want to go. You say you don't like your state, then look for a different state. But you have to secure work first. You can prep for the move, do the research, find out what houses are going for, find out what type of cell phone service they have, type of utility like bills, figure out the cost of living for that area. And then you look for jobs, apply for jobs, and then you want to make sure that you have the money that you need to move. Are you going to live in a place that's tiny? Are you going to need a house? Are you going to need that? And you start backwards planning. This is your vision. You got to create this, right? And you creating this vision is going to work for you in many ways, my friend. Many ways. All right. So that's what I want you to do. If I, if I see you here, man, or if you want to come in and talk to me, that's what I would suggest you do. All right. So this guy right here, he says, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll read part of it. He says, so basically I've had a lot of times I'll say I'll fix my life, but every time I always did get even better if I slipped up. The actions would be less severe or less often, but I still felt like the same person over and over again. And to the point I was but I also learned a lot along the way. And there were a lot of times I was proud of myself. Well, I'm actually going to continue to be proud of myself. Last week or two, I slipped up a lot. I had a 6-month streak in something and I slipped up. I started texting people from my past to fill a void because the rest of the world feels hopelessness and all the right stuff. Okay, I don't need to read the rest of this. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I will. All right, here we go. Ooh, a lot of stuff. Okay. Well, I'm done. And as you know, people have hurt me. I've also been wrong. So all that said, comment. I want to know. It's a way to make me feel bad, but it's also very true. Basically, I keep going back into this life and I'm not changing and all that stuff. That all said, it in different ways, but it's true. But this isn't for them, it's for me. I'm done with the drama. I'm done doing bad coping mechanisms. I'm done making excuses. I'm done with doom scrolling. I'm done with constant negative to myself. I'm done letting life go into pieces in the way I can't control. I'm done not giving my pets enough attention just because of depression. Today I clean my room. Step 1, by the way. I know what I'm talking about, man. I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. Today I clean my room. It looks wonderful. I'm going to read the rest of The Hobbit and hopefully soon get to The Lord of the Rings. And today I say, screw my past. I don't need it to define me. And yes, I live in a crappy, toxic household who restricts me a lot, but I still have control of a lot of things. I can learn languages. I can read books. I can be with my pets. I can learn psychology. I can be better myself. I can hopefully soon get a job. I have to rely on my dad for transportation now because I'm in a rural area and towns are many miles away and it's barely bikeable distance if you're in shape. It's possible, but not really recommended. Anyways, the job will keep me stable. It'll keep me distracted, hopefully get me to move out of here. Today starts this. And while I'm waiting for my dad to get steady in a job so I can have his schedule, so I can then apply for jobs where I can do a lot of things. Today is the day. Wow. Okay. All right. So, what I want to say to this. All right. So here we are. And I want to say that we shouldn't rag on this person, or we shouldn't just be here, saying mean things or whatever, trying to be like, oh yeah, man, you blah 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 blah, because he's trying. You know what I mean? Like, he is actually trying, and he's trying to better himself. He's trying to get things situated, trying to do things the quote unquote the right way. And I'm not mad at my man for this. If anything, I would say I'm actually proud of him for doing this. And the reason I say that is because, it takes a lot of courage to come on these sites and spill out pretty much your whole baggage, and then and see that, people are going to come at you and they're going to give you all sorts of crap and blah, blah, blah. Right? Okay. So what I would say is, number one, this guy doesn't have a job. And I can tell you, like it's very hard to get into a rhythm when you can't even get into the rhythm of getting up to go to work every day. And that's something that we as men, we have to do. We have to get up. We have to go to work. He's already started doing step one, and I can already see he's in like that motivated stage, and that's good. But you can't stay and rely on just the emotional state of like, oh yeah, I'm fired up. I'm good. Let's do it. We're going to do it today. That is not going to get you where you want to be. That starts the fire, but you are the one that has to keep the fire burning. You got to keep the fire going. And that means you're going to have to go chop wood. You're going to have to put the wood on the fire. You're going to have to take the poker and poke it. You're going to have to make sure that there's enough adequate airflow. You're going to have to make sure that you're keeping it out the rain, and all of these things. That's different than just lighting the fire. And I need a guy like this. I need him to understand that. Fixing your life is not about a one-time fix. It's a mindset change. It's about stopping habits that are bad. You got to secure work. He's on step one, but he needs to get to step two, which is find a damn job. I'm telling you, you guys, anybody that's feeling depressed, feeling some sort of anxiety, feeling some sort of hopelessness and this, that, and the other, it's because you are not proactively being involved in your own life. You're passively sitting by, letting things go. You're playing too many video games. You're watching too many other things. You're doom scrolling. You're on Netflix. You're doing all this other stuff except for interacting with real people, making real progress towards making more money, securing a better future for yourself, or doing things that genuinely make you happy. And I promise you, anybody on here that says video games make me happy, I'm telling you, you're going to have to take some time, and you're going to have to really think about that, because video games, while they are fun, they are a form of addiction. Too much is not good, right? Too much is not good. You do too much, you play video games way too much, and then you'll start to see that the rest of your life is starting to decline. You play video games too much, you'll start to feel more depressed when you get off of them. You start prioritizing it over doing things you need to do as far as making it to work on time. You stay up too late, you don't get enough sleep, you're not exercising, you're doing all of these things except for working on your progress. And that's the stuff that's important. You're still living at home with dad, okay? You're able to save money, but you're not, because you don't have a job. You got to do that. You got to get the job. You got to get out of your dad's house. You got to get on your feet and start living your life, because what happens is you're going to start feeling some sort of anxiety, some sort of tension. Something's going to happen. Maybe you probably meet a girl. You don't want to bring your girl back to your dad's house. You don't. I'm telling you, you don't. If you had a son and your son was living with you, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But you, as the son, you don't want to be living at your father's house when you're trying to get on your feet, when you're trying to start a love interest, when you're trying to start actually pursuing meaningful relationships and have a life of your own. You'll always feel like a child. And this is why you can't stop. You can't get out of that cycle, because you feel like a child. Dad is always there. Dad's always there to bail me out. Dad's there. Well, I don't have to get a job right now. I promise, if dad wasn't there and you were by yourself, your ass would be out there getting a job right now. because nobody's going to take care of you. Your safety net's been there too long. That's why you keep repeating this cycle, because you haven't felt the pain of being homeless. You haven't felt the pain of not being able to pay your bills. That's why you feel like you can't ever break this cycle, because every time you have the slightest bit of tension, you break. And then once you break, daddy's there to pick you up and put you back together while you recover, while you eat a sensu bean, you know what I mean? Like, while you get all that stuff situated. And that's why you never feel like you can get anywhere. That's the exact reason why. You need a brotherhood. That's step 4. You need a brotherhood. You need people that you can depend on, people you can talk to that are going to get you there, more than just your dad. Sorry, that's my cat, man. My doggone cat scratching the door. But anyway, so like I said, this kind of stuff, you can do better. You can get where you need to go. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Hold on, y'all. I got to get this cat, man. This cat keeps scratching up my door. Hold on. All right. Doggone cat, man. The cat keeps scratching my door. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, man, forge a brotherhood. Find some men that you're going to be good with. Build some skills. Get a job. Get some therapy, because I think you probably need it. Everybody needs it. And then let's start creating a future for yourself. All right. Oh, All right. So this is one I want to go over right here. How to stay motivated when you feel numb and disconnected from results. The TLDR, feeling numb. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read the gist of it. Feeling numb and demotivated despite self-improvement. Past failures haunt me. I no longer have competition to drive me. How do I find purpose? Stop feeling worthless and trust that effort matters. Need advice. How do I stay motivated on making effort when you don't see the results for long? You're in solitude. You don't feel motivated and seeing results. I feel numb. What are the top sources of motivation, you guys, that compels you to extraordinary efforts? For example, taking care of my family to prove you're smarter. You hear this, cat? God. All right. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna answer this question real quick, and then I gotta go, guys. I just wanted to do a short live stream today to talk to the world. This will be the last one that I cover here, but pretty simple. How do you stay motivated when you feel numb and disconnected? I don't know what your goals are. I didn't read your whole thing, but I'm assuming fitness, and I'm also assuming like financial goals. Those are two pretty common goals for men, is to get in shape and to make more money. Whatever it is you want to do, everything takes time, consistency. And I would say the thing that you need is not motivation. I think you just need the actual tracking of the progress, because this is how people feel when you've been doing something for so long and you haven't tracked the progress, so you can't identify what's going wrong. So if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, for example, if those are your goals, you need to be tracking your calories. And every meal that you eat, you need to write it down, log it, type it up in an Excel spreadsheet, and that's what you need to do. When you get in there and you track things, you can measure the performance. When you measure the performance, then you can start critiquing things and focusing things on, okay, maybe I ate too much of this today and that put me over my calories. Maybe I did not do enough cardio and that's why I'm not shredding. Maybe, once you start measuring things, then you can start developing solutions and answers for why. But if you're just going through life saying, I'm going to make $1 million. Okay, how? I'm going to be a YouTuber. Okay. All right. How often do you post? How often are you talking about things? Like this it's simple stuff like that. Well, of course you're not successful at it. You haven't been consistent enough. The content you're making is trash. And to be honest, this is what a lot of people's goals are. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber nowadays. Everybody wants to be a gamer. Everybody wants to be a Mr. Beast or whatever. Or if they're doing, if they follow YouTube, or you want to be a top salesman, you want to be an executive, a CEO, move up in your company, in the corporate structure, in the corporate ladder. You're going to do all those things. What does it take? It takes time. It takes effort. It takes energy. That's what it takes. It takes all of it. And if you don't take the time to write down and track everything, then you're not going to get there. And I just want to say, because these steps that I list out, they actually work. Stabilize yourself, my friend. Clean your room, clean your home, organize yourself, structure, schedules, routines. These are the things that defeat depression. They stop you from feeling numb. They stop you from feeling disconnected because you are connected directly to what it is you're trying to achieve. Secure work. What are you doing? If your goal is to make more money, then you need to redefine what it means to make that money. What are you doing? Are you selling things? Are you a social media influencer? Or are you, do you work a 9-to-5 job? Do you have a career or a job? How can you move up? What's the structure? What's the hierarchy? What's the next step? Right? And control your money. Figure out where your money's going. If you yourself can't achieve the results you're trying to, pay someone to help get you there. Pay for help, get the help. Forge a brotherhood. You're not around people that are like-minded, like you, or what it is you want to achieve. You need to get around those people, and you need to use those people to connect with them. And that's how you don't lose your motivation, because you have other people that are right there next to you saying, all right, hey, I saw you were doing this. This is really good. This is what I'm doing that's working for me. So maybe if you want to do that, right? Building skills. This goes along lines with tracking things. You got to track your stuff. Track your stuff. How much money are you making? How many leads are you getting? How many views are you getting? How often are you working on this every week? And then see if the results change. Strengthen your mind, get in therapy, and create a real vision, a real detailed plan so that you can do what? Track it, follow it, and you'll see the results. And if you don't see results, you'll see on the other end, that's what I did wrong. That's where I did not do good. And now I'm going to improve that. And then once you improve that, then everything else starts to move up. You see that? All right. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here, man. I had a short little time. I wanted to come by, help solve some people's problems. And then we're going to continue on with this. I'm telling you, I'm going to get into a better routine with these live streams and uploading these videos. I do have a very busy life. I have a lot of things to do, but this is part of it. And this is what I want to do. So if you have a question that you want to answer in this format, just leave it in the comment below. And then I'll get back to it, make a video about it, whatever. And